These people are fighters, I'll give them that, and I've seen plenty in my line of work. I've watched them fight for their lives, and now I am blessed to see them rest in this temporary safety we've built together. I hope only that we may live to fight another day.
The sun peeks over the Chicago skyline, and it's almost beautiful. Almost. Our survivors are, well, most of them are waking up in the various places that they fell asleep, but none of them feel very well rested. It's hard to sleep with the noises outside. Even when they aren't active, the frenzied seem to groan on occasion. An unsettling, gut-clenching groan, and the smell of blood fills the apartment complex. You had managed to open up a few of the apartments, and you did board up those windows inside of them, allowing for beds and couches to be accessed. And at about 3 a.m. or so, most of you managed to find places to try to rest for the night. Alec, I would like for you to mark somewhere on your sheet another recovery point for getting some rest. You need 3 recovery points to heal 1 minor wound, such as your arm. This can only be given to you by resting or by spending competence points to do so. While everyone is beginning to stir and wake up, while it was still a very restless sleep, most of you probably woke up for an hour or so at a time on occasion, just out of paranoia, but one of you didn't sleep at all. Where is Darren right now, and what is he doing?
Darren is not sleeping. He probably, as everyone went off to various rooms, I imagine a very somber, not even goodbye, just kind of parting of ways. He finds a little, whatever corner or room to hide away in, and he cannot rest. Cannot. Brain is going, heart is pumping, and every tiny sound, every groan from outside, every creak in a floorboard, every stimuli, real or imagined, throws him into fight or flight. And this goes on for hours. And it gets to the point where Darren gets up and, probably stands up and slowly, as carefully as possible, starts just like going through like whatever's in the room, whatever room he's staying in, and starts trying to gather things and seeing what he has, clinking around silverware and string or tape or anything. And he starts, again, bloodshot eyes, still has blood on his face, and is like gathering things and starts, like crafting and putting things together, just like in a haze, as hoping to find a way to protect mostly himself, but protect the building.
And the camera kind of like pulls back from that room and kind of shifts over, and Derek is now walking around sort of door to door, kind of telling everybody there's some coffee and breakfast. He seems to have cleaned up the mess of the items that were flung off of the tables when you had to emergency block the window. A couple tables that were not nailed to the wall were brought over and sort of cleaned off to place in the hallway. And there are, it looks like, some old pastries, and some fresh brewed coffee.
I feel like if anyone had been awake early enough, probably they would have heard Yasmin's phone go off at sunrise. And so she's already up, having done morning prayer, and is coming to help him kind of clean up, set up, and checking on everybody as they kind of wander out and looking for people with injuries, because she knows it's kind of a touchy subject right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say the two of you kind of got breakfast together, probably shoved one of the tables sort of inside of one of these cleaned out apartments, and kind of like attempting normalcy of like, hey, let's all sit and let's have some breakfast. And so you sit down and he goes off to kind of get everybody else up. And as you kind of hear him like telling everyone there's some breakfast down the hall, you glance up to the calendar on the wall, and you realize what day it is. Let's see here. Rory. Where was Rory sleeping?
Great question. I feel like Rory ended up just grabbing some blankets and potentially like a pillow of some kind, and ended up sleeping closer to like one of the windows in the hallway, and sort of like propped up there, sort of like very light sleeping, sort of just gun at the ready, closer to the window in case anything came. And I think they had a very restless night of sleep, but that is where they are. So as soon as they hear people starting to move around, they will get up and make their way into the room where there is coffee and breakfast. So they seem very sort of distant and far away. They don't really ever meet anybody's eyes, and they sort of just sit there, like just somewhere else, very clearly, throughout the entire time during breakfast.
Alec. Where was Alec sleeping?
Would probably, due to his leg and shoulder, would be trying to find any sort of cushion to elevate these portions. So, in all honesty, probably like a couch or a bed, something that he can stretch out fully, so that way he can just sort of decompress flat, while also just not being on the floor.
Okay. And as you're kind of moving to get up, all of your wounds are so stiff. Your shoulder, there's just this burning pain just arcing through as the skin kind of stretches as you turn to get up. Go ahead and roll a resist pain for me.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. That is 3 degrees of failure.
3 degrees of failure.
Yeah, 65 over my 34.
What is your damage threshold?
7.
Okay. I will say that because you failed that resist pain, you go to stand up and you can feel this shock of pain through your leg. You can almost even feel warm and wet where the wound is, so you immediately sit back down. You don't force it any further.
I will lay against the wall. I will just sleep like that. Obviously, I am overexerting myself. No way. I'm just gonna sit here.
Where was Lou sleeping?
I think I would have found a place that I could be alone. So I would have found one of the already cleared apartments. Probably sat for quite a while and just cried a bit. Quietly by myself where nobody can see me. and then, until I have a moment of, okay, we gotta get this back together and try and get some sleep. I would have definitely woke up to the offerings or smell of coffee.
So in these apartments immediately, there's no wheelchair or anything like that that Derek was able to find, but Derek will drag you into a room for breakfast with the rest of them if you would like, Alec. He would offer, at least.
Yeah, if he's willing to help me out in this situation, then yeah. I'll definitely accept the help.
Like kind of like in a chair, sort of just dragging the chair with you in it sort of situation.
Just the scoot.
Yeah. All the way down the hallway.
Hopefully there's nothing in this hallway.
That'll definitely get the zombies out at least.
Darren, what are you working on when Derek finds you to kind of hunt you down for breakfast? Is a sentence that I did not mean.
That's correct.
You know what?
Darren wasn't, like, even if Darren was not going to join, like, period. So it is, where is Darren? And how do I find him, and do we get him to breakfast? You just see, like, it looks like a pile of nonsense, of just weird scraps that are like, there's nothing even formed yet, I think, at this point. It's just literally a pile of like silverware and bed sheets and towels and like, all kinds, fine china, like all kinds of things, whatever he would have found in this whatever random apartment, just all in a pile, like all lightly sorted, all just gathered up, and they're like half, some things are half put together. None of it is a complete thing yet. Even if they were complete, you would look at it and be like, back to the drawing board, bud. But yeah, so you just see Darren's like back is to the door, or like, actually no, the door, his back is probably not to the door. It is specifically looking to the door, I would imagine, and probably up against a wall, looking at this pile. And he would just like look up at you, like startled as soon as you, I guess, well, not that startled. You're making a lot of noise doing your chair scoot, but would like would just be kind of staring at you, with a very strange expression on his face as you scoot in.
Sorry.
You want to come to breakfast with us?
No, I'm good. I'm good for now. Thank you.
You should get some food.
I will. When I'm done. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You should really get that eye looked at.
Yeah, it's that like old blood now that's like
Caked.
almost brown, it's like stop bleeding and whatever. There might even be like just like a loose piece of toilet paper just like stuck to his head at this point, that's just still there. But yeah, he just nods and just kind of like goes back to like talking to himself and kind of like trying to piece things together.
So all of you minus Darren eventually do like converge at this table. It's quiet. Plates are kind of handed out. Whatever breakfast was able to be made here, coffee, and the floor is yours.
Did anyone tell Yasmin about what Darren was looking like while he was in his little nest of crafting?
If no one did, and Darren's not here, I would go to find Darren.
They would probably come in and Derek would probably say, Darren is not joining us. I'll bring him something.
I would stand up and be like, no, fuck that. He's not joining us. And I'm gonna like take a coffee and a pastry and walk through the door where Darren is.
Okay. Before we visit that scene, what are the rest of you doing?
I'll check out Alec because clearly he cannot walk. So Yasmin will set her coffee and stuff down and go over and start kind of fussing and be like, where is it hurting? Do you feel it bleeding? Let me check the wounds. And starts to like, she doesn't do it without your consent, but she'll be like hovering.
It's definitely my leg. I stood up too fast and didn't want to touch it. It felt moist and it just didn't feel great. Thank you. Sorry again. I tend to have this oversense that maybe I can just get going again, but this is clearly not something that I should be doing.
You are not the first patient that I have had that has had a overconfidence in their bodies to heal overnight. So let me take a look, and I'll wait till you eat something, and then I'll get Derek to help me move you into a separate room so y'all don't have to watch doctor checkups.
And like a little wound check-in with breakfast.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking some fruit if there are fruit, because I know that this stuff is gonna be key.
I am probably just sort of like vaguely watching all this happen as I'm like drinking some coffee. But I am not gonna really say much. Yeah.
If Rory's being quiet, being that we're kind of here in breakfast, at least most of us, what happened out there? Now that we have this sort of calm that we can discuss.
Right. What didn't happen out there? I don't know. We went to the police station and no one was there. And then we found some people who had been turned. What was the police officer's name again? I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head.
You never got the police officer's name.
The officer who went with us helped us get out of there. and created a distraction. And he didn't come back, so we left without him. And then we went to the gun shop, and we lost another person there. And then we came back here, and something was following us, and that is where we ended up. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's all you really need to say. Sorry that thing sort of turned out as it did.
Yeah, well,
It is good at least that you made it back. You're
Sure.
grateful for that at least.
yeah.
Sorry for the fire escape. It wasn't great here either.
Yeah.
Some people rang some church bells, and I mean,
So you heard those too?
yeah, and we all kind of quickly gathered that, well, somebody probably did that.
Yeah.
It helped with a little bit of some information. These things tend to stay active for about 30 minutes or so before they kind of go into that dormant, slow phase. But sound is just, it's big. So if we're quiet enough down here, maybe we can get the rest of these floors under control.
I don't know. The thing that followed us, it shrieked in our direction, and that's how it alerted things. It knew exactly where we were, it was following us, and then it came here, and it probably is still here, if it isn't dead.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Everything kind of blurs together. I definitely didn't kill it. I pushed it, gave it a mean shove out a window. Considering the fact that it could get up there to begin with, it's probably back up there.
Mhm.
So
Yes, it was climbing the walls. I could see it on the other build or on the outside of the building. So must close all upper level windows too.
there's a lot of furniture. We can go through the rooms and find enough to board them up. It's more so just getting them clear now, so that way we have the time to do that.
Mhm.
Probably gonna want to wait a little bit before doing anything though, just because.
Mhm. Well, those of us that are not injured can start to collect water, make sure that we have all supplies in one place. But you will rest.
Who
Meanwhile,
knows? Maybe some people got up to the next floors, so we could have somebody go onto an elevator and go up there. Sorry, did not mean to interrupt you.
no, I know you're fine. Meanwhile, Lou walks into the doorway of the room Darren is sitting in.
I am holding a coffee and a croissant. Hey, we're all having breakfast, and I mean, a lot of stuff's gone down, and here's some breakfast. If there's a trick. If it's a little stale, you just like microwave it for a couple of seconds, and it'll be better. And I sort of hold it out your direction.
Darren doesn't meet your eye contact. Just kind of keeps looking down, or not even at necessarily what he's doing, but just anywhere else that isn't at you. and says, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm just doing some stuff right now. But yeah, if you could just leave it like on the table over there, and I'll get it. Thank you.
I'm gonna walk over, and if you're not gonna freak out about it, I'm just gonna sit down next to you and hand you the coffee and put the pastry down in front of you.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be trying to make eye contact anymore. I'm now looking at what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, first he doesn't recoil or anything, but there's definitely an energy, we'll say, of like attention. Somehow already a tense individual getting tenser with every step you take, let alone when you sit down next to him.
I accept it and keep going anyway.
Yeah, I assumed so. This was all flavor to the actions that I assumed were happening regardless. And you see kind of the same thing that Alec did, of just clearly Darren has just this pile of nonsense that he is just trying to cram together and trying to figure out what he has and how he can use it. And like you can see, like, again, it's a mess right now. It is solutions derived by a stressed out, unslept individual, so they are not complete solutions. But it's all kinds of things tied to, duct taped to, crammed into, broken into, other such things.
I take a sip of my own coffee, and I'm looking around at kind of the piles and at first the piles kind of say like OCD to me, but then I start seeing things like taped together, and I go, so, dude, are you like trying to like Home Alone this room?
I'm sorry, I didn't ever. What's Home Alone?
Oh, so there's like a kid, and he's alone, and like he makes traps and stuff for bad guys. Are you trying to like Home Alone the room?
Well, sorry, I still don't really understand what you're saying. But
are you making traps?
Alarms and traps and I just think that we should be sure that we know that everything is safe and secure, and if anything is happening, we should know about it.
I go, you know what, man? And I slide the pastry a little closer to you. I go, I mean, I can help you out. I'm pretty good at some of this stuff, and making stuff out of nothing and making something out of garbage. I mean, I could probably help you out, but usually I do my better work after I've slept a little bit and maybe ate something.
Oh, no, I all my best ideas is when I'm working, when I'm doing stuff and keep going just until the problem is solved, and that's how you do work. But yeah, I do really like bouncing ideas off of collaborators and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'd appreciate that. And finally, like, looks over, like, acknowledges that a baked good is there, and looks over then at the coffee and reaches for the coffee, and he just like very slowly kind of just like takes a sip, and he just kind of like shudders a little bit, and he's like, is this a black coffee?
I mean, if you need something, I could check the fridge. And I'm gonna you seem like a coffee guy, and I wander over to the fridge. Is there like milk? Is there sugar on a counter I can find?
There would probably be some in here, yeah.
Or like some kind of coffee creamer or something. I'm gonna bring stuff over. I'm gonna bring over like creamer or milk, and I'm gonna bring over sugar and a spoon, and set it all like around you. And then I'm gonna like keep talking to you, just sort of nonsensically talking to you about things as I like open the fridge, and I'm like, yeah, you seem like a coffee guy. I'm a little like coffee and energy drink, and my head is in the fridge, and I am looking for also an energy drink.
I was gonna say Darren would be like, oh yeah, if there's that would be really great actually. Coffee. I mean, and like he's loosening up just a little bit, talking now. Like, especially kind of once you come in with a friendly, collaborative energy, I guess is a fine way to put it. Mm-hmm. He starts loosening up pretty quickly. And yeah, like goes along. Also is like, oh yeah, energy drinks would be really, really great. And my kingdom for a milk frother, am I right? But beggars can't be choosers, and like starts going along and talking at least a little bit. Still isn't really is there's still a barrier, but is starting to just kind of talk a little.
I'm rolling with it, and when you say my kingdom for a milk frother, I'm like, well, maybe we'll get lucky, and one of these people in one of these apartments was a total coffee nut, right?
Darren thinks to himself, looks around the apartment, is like, probably not, but he doesn't say that out loud, and just nods.
Lou turns around, sees your expression, and goes, "Judgy much?"
I don't want to count on any energy drinks over there.
Are there any energy drinks in the fridge?
Unfortunately, there are not.
Wow, can't even have this one thing.
You know what? I'll check some of the other places later today. Where there's a bunch more collaborators? Out there in the hall.
And like he immediately is just like,
I promise the hall's quiet. The hall's super quiet. And you don't have to come out, but if you're not going to come out, maybe get some sleep.
Darren just kind of nods at that. Just nods. Doesn't respond, and also doesn't make a move to go out, but nods and kind of like accepts what you were saying.
Remember, man, if that pastry's a little stale, you just like nuke it for
microwave.
Yep. 5-10 seconds. It'll taste fresh again.
And he just like, you see him just like start to just like pick at it.
I'm gonna check on you. I'm a finger gun out the door.
Darren does exactly one finger gun.
Breakthrough.
Lou counts that as a success.
Yeah. Fully counts that as a success.
And I will say, Lou, you being in there you're not really like super medical savvy or anything like that, but that eye looks bad. You're not. It's one of those where you're not sure if it looks worse than it is because it hasn't been tended to, or if it is just really fucking bad. You're not sure, but it's definitely
not good.
Not good. Yeah.
Yeah. As I finger gun out the door, I'm gonna go find our lovely doctor friend.
I'm fussing. I'm searching, like I said. If Alec is done eating, she'll be checking, like pull him aside or whatever to check bandages, make sure there's no bleeding, whatever.
Yeah, Derek has helped kind of bring Alec over to the couch in this apartment. And you're able to kind of go through and get a good look at this wound. Are you like cleaning and redressing as well?
Yep, much as I can. Trying to be sparing but not stingy with any supplies that we've got.
Okay, so you are probably in the process of redressing this wound when Lou walks in.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you busy?
Yasmin looks thoughtful as she finishes the last kind of pinning and whatnot and stands up. What is it that I can help you with?
We like wound checking. That might not be a bad idea. And I kind of like lift up my shirt and just spin around, like just reveal my stomach and spin around, and then
I'll just go over and
I'm like, am I cool? And I kind of like just arms up, spin around.
Is Lou cool?
Yeah,
Right.
Lou didn't have any injuries, right? Yeah, you're good.
Looking great, Lou. Well done.
Cool. I was actually a little worried about that, so thanks. Darren is well, I mean, okay, he's not good. I mean, his eyes kind of fucked up.
Darren
So you might want to check that.
Is the other one. I don't think I have met him yet. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so. So the thing is, like, I think you should look at that. But he's also like not cool. He's
Let's see.
from my own personal life experience, and I'm not a doctor. It looks kind of like a little bit of shock and exhaustion. That would be my best guess as a person who may or may not have been through some stuff.
I have seen such things before. Give me a minute and I will just point me in his direction.
I mean, I'll go with you. I already kind of built a little bit of, I mean, I don't think he would react well to a new person just walking in.
I'll put, scissors, cloths, a little, probably like a water bottle, like a Nalgene of water in like in the bag, whatever, and lead the way.
I'm gonna walk her over and kind of knock on the door jamb. Hey man, you know what else helps you plan shit is both eyes. I brought somebody who can help clean yours up, so maybe it'll be less like not good, because it looks not good. Forgive me, but it looks not good. And you didn't look like that earlier, so I thought maybe you would like to not look like that now.
Yeah, and you would have noticed that, like, at this point, Darren would have been like wincing when he was talking a lot, just having eyebrows that need to go up and around and whatnot. And yeah, so he is not so in shock that he does not know, ow, this hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would just be like, oh yeah, sure, of course, yeah.
As a fellow person with lots of facial expressions, eyebrows are helpful, and I kind of lead the doctor in.
Is Darren sitting in the dark, or has he turned lights on in here?
I think he would have turned lights on because he's working.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I think probably it was dark, and it was one of those things where at like 3:30 a.m. turned on a single solitary light, and it has been on, assuming we still have power, the whole time.
Okay. Yasmin will come in with her bag, and just kind of set it on the ground near her. She says, "Hello, Darren. My name is Yasmin. How are you doing?"
I mean, fine, fine.
I can see you're busy at work.
Yeah. Just trying some, throwing some ideas around, trying to, this, that, and the other thing. I hit my eye, during everything. I mean, it hit. It wasn't like it wasn't them. It was, it was a thing that happened. We were fighting, but it was not. You get it. You get it.
I do very much get it, and you've been very productive here, and it's good. But perhaps we can sit a couple minutes at the table where I can get a bit more light. Is that okay?
Yeah. That's fine. And he stands up and takes his croissant and now definitely not black coffee over to the table. Is Lou still there? Did Lou just like?
Oh no, I would stick around because I would be concerned about this.
So yeah, Darren like semi at first sheepishly, and then does that thing where he realizes that he's being sheepish and puts on that like mask of confidence and goes over and like sits down at the table.
Lou I'm sitting there trying my best, as much as I do not have like dude, it's cool kind of energy. I'm going to sit there and try to be the person that's sitting there like, no, it's totally normal, man. We're cool. And make it not a thing.
Yasmin will lay out some stuff on the table and kind of pull up a chair next to Darren and just sort of gently start to clean away the blood. And say, so Darren, are you originally from the city here?
No, but I've been here for a long time, but I'm from nearby. I'm from Indiana originally, but moved here,
Mm-hmm.
Come up, do some business, start a business. So you got to be in a big city to be a big business.
That's very good. What business is it that you do?
Well, it's a little complicated. A lot of ins. We're a pretty diverse enterprise, actually. Hold on, I have the name of his company. Oh, hold on. I forgot, and I remembered how stupid it was, and it made me laugh. At Life Tech, we do a lot of, it's all kinds of stuff. We have a pretty diverse portfolio, but really a lot of kind of back-end support for things, while also, of course, being a pioneer and forward thinker in a lot of ways. Life Tech for your life. And, and so we do a lot of stuff. And, I'm really, I wouldn't say I'm at the center of it all, but I have a great team around me, and I lead them and it's just like goes into the venture capital patter of here's what our nonsense company does without actually saying any details of what said nonsense company does.
I feel like this as he starts to get a little distracted by giving the spiel, giving the pitch that he's probably given a million times.
Easily.
Lou has been around when Yasmin has some expressions and some feelings. And she's still keeping pretty neutral, but Lou would notice that she's not optimistic about what's going on up here. So she pulls out, whatever she needs to kind of clean it up, disinfect it, anywhere that requires sutures or whatever. And she starts to do a little bit of work and is like, just, it might hurt a little bit of a pinch, but don't you worry, you can grab onto something if you need to. There's a table leg, but keep telling me about your business. Just, I want to hear everything about it. And she'll start to stitch up.
He just he hears you, but just keeps powering forward. In a way that you can't tell. Is he saying it in a hollow way because he's traumatized, or because he is in business and has no soul when saying these sort of things? But some combination somewhere in between there.
Mm-hmm. After she's done doing the initial kind of stitching and the cleaning and the whatever, it looks pretty, it looks clear. It looks not great still. She'll pause and wait for a lull in the pitch as Darren starts to wind down. Would it take him a minute, or would he just kind of keep
it's
going?
One of those things. Darren is a pretty empathetic person, but the way it is expressed in this moment is that he has a 60-second version, he has a 90-second version, he has a 3-minute version of this pitch. He has, all of the various, depends on how many floors the elevator is going onto, and so so he is prepared to he kind of just there's steps and increments that Darren is ready. So there would be lots of opportunities for it to be all right, I guess that is the end of this spiel. I bet you might have questions, but kind of
No. Darren, I've cleaned you up. It will still be quite sore for some time. I suspect you have noticed that you cannot see out of that eye. I am sorry to say, especially with what I have on hand, we cannot save it.
What do you mean?
You will no longer be able to see out of that eye. Whatever you did, the shrapnel went too deep.
What do you mean?
Your eye is gone. Or rather, there are pieces left, but you will never see out of that eye again without some very significant medical intervention, and certainly not with what I've got here.
And he like stands up, just like in an expression of energy.
Mhm.
And he just looks at you, one eye swollen shut, and looks over at Lou to like confirm that someone else heard these words, and is just frozen, is stuck. And like you would know what little progress he had in feeling better from yesterday is immediately gone. And he just stands there for what feels like a long time, just processing.
Yasmin doesn't. She'll stand up next to you, but she won't like try to engage because she's probably had similar conversations before, and figures you're not the kind to like wax poetic.
That can't. No, that can't. It was a slingshot. I got it. It didn't. I just got hit. I got hit in the face with a slingshot. What?
Got hit in the eye with a slingshot.
So it was. I mean, it's just I misfired it. What do you like? That no. That can't be. Or you're not. You must not be that good of a doctor. And what do you? That's nonsense. I'm sure it'll be fine. Thank you for cleaning it up. I'm sure it'll be fine in a little bit. And like gets up to like walk out of the room.
She'll let him go. She won't. She'll let him have his feelings.
And yeah, he just goes. And if he hears any voices, any direction that he goes to, he goes the opposite direction.
I'll turn to Lou. Well, it went better than it would have, but certainly worse than it would have too. Would you like to check on him? He does seem the type to require quiet time to process.
I'll give him a bit. Sure, that's not your first time having to deliver very bad news.
Certainly not.
It's not my first time sitting next to somebody who gets bad news. So
Everyone processes differently.
Yeah.
Shall we rejoin the others again, at least?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you head back into that just main area where you've been kind of having breakfast. Derek kind of looks up, sees your expressions and doesn't say anything and just kind of looks back down. Derek's been sitting over by Alec just to kind of keep him company. What would you like to do?
I would like to go up and tap Derek on the shoulder and say, will you give us a moment?
Sure. Yeah, he
I'll wait till
stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stands. You hear the scraping of like the fireman's axe that he's still just carrying around. You hear that come up off the ground, and he heads out to kind of go down the hall and give you some space.
So as we are now, I presume, kind of out of earshot of everyone else, I say to Alec, other than the pain, how are you feeling?
I feel pretty fine.
I will clarify, I believe Rory is in this room as well. I don't know if...
Yeah.
But we
Sadly.
had
And
initially
I would have followed it, so I could leave you alone. I would read whether the give us a minute was for the two of you or
for the
yeah.
At this point, though, I would ask maybe if Lou is catching on to that sort of talks behavior and is could you grab me a notebook and then a pen, one of your many pens that I'm sure you carry around.
Oh, and I pull 7 different kinds of pens out of one pocket. And
Any
I go,
that are different colors would actually be big help.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of colors.
Awesome. Can I use them and then I'll return
Sure.
them to you?
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. And I'll leave the pens.
Yeah,
And I'll go find some paper and I'll take off.
Yeah, thank you. At this point, I'd probably gotten my fill on some snacks. Yeah, no, I'm feeling fine. I'm very concerned with those on the upper floor, the things up there. I think we need to take care of them sooner than later because those things are strong. Pushing the one out the window gave it everything I had, so I'm not sure what's keeping them from up there and down here, but anything that's up there is going to be pretty bad. I want to try to devise an idea of what we can do. Carrie, most of the floors are pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
So being on this floor and being to the roof and the first floor, the only thing that I haven't been to is the basement for the most part. So whenever Lou comes back with the paper, if we find a notebook or anything, I would try to sketch out the flooring using just I guess my own sort of knowledge on lengths with my field, being able to kind of at best create a decent schematic for the floor, so that way we can then devise a plan of attack from there.
Okay.
So as you're talking and as you're starting to sketch, has Rory left also, hearing me say, can you give us a minute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Rory hears that and sort of just takes their coffee and steps outside.
Yeah, Derek could probably be you want to come with me and check all the windows?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So the moment we're alone,
I just gotta give you a nod.
as you're probably already there's paper in your lap and you're drawing on it, she'll put a hand on your hand to get you to look at me. Alec, we have to talk.
I just kind of give you that look.
When I was redressing your leg, I noticed some discoloration. It's not as bad as Elizabeth, the woman in the other apartment, but it is the same. We don't know what happened to her. but I have suspicions that what was happening to her was because she was bitten by one of those things and was perhaps turning into one of those things.
See, I noticed it too, but I think it would be best if we don't mention this. It's on my thigh. There's really nothing we can do about that. So I'm going to do everything I can for the time being while I'm still state. And we'll go from there. It's a learning experience, so if dominoes fall the way they do, I'll be using some of this paper to write to some of my family, and I'll leave an address in case. But
neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor apocalypse. Yes?
Right. It's Minnesota. There's plenty of snow. So, I'm just gonna kind of work on this. I'll, how's Darren? How's Darren doing?
He is having trouble adjusting, but we will get there.
Kind of guy that doesn't like change, so.
Change is hard. But we will together work on making you comfortable, and if you wish, as part of your exercise, we can discuss, shall we say, end of life, to make sure that you are as little pain as possible. Yes?
Mm-hmm. And thank you for that. Thank you for what you've done.
Of course. Would you
Played
like
games, so stuff like this is like, I don't know, it feels weird.
Yes. Times like this, it's hard to know. Hard to know what anything really. But we will stick together. That
Yeah,
is
at
all
this
we
point,
can.
I'm just furiously spinning my ring. So,
Is your wife partner?
no, it's my sister gave it to me before I went off to college. So,
Is it only you and her?
no, it's most of my family, but we've had like a friendship. It was always smaller in school, so bullies, picked on, names, stuff like that. But she's just a little bit older than me, so yeah, she was just really kind. So I like to keep it with me whenever I'm out and alone.
My sisters, both younger than me. I understand. And she pulls out a necklace from underneath her scarf that's a blue eye on a gold chain. When I left, my one sister gave this to me to remember home by. I haven't seen her in too many years, but it brings me closer to her as well. What was she like? Or is she like?
Always positive, looking on as looks at anything as she always sees positive things in negatives, and tries very hard to give that feeling to others, gives that sort of sense. It's really calming, funny.
She just puts a hand on your shoulder and sits with you.
They're okay. That's all I can say. I don't know what's going on over there.
We will, in her honor, try to do the same thing for the others. Yes? And for each other.
It's important for people to stay together in this. I'm gonna just focus on more of the schematics at this point, kind of keep my head down and focus on sort of what I do best.
Give one last squeeze and get up and start to fuss again, filling water things and whatever.
Yeah, you start going around and like plugging up the sinks and the tubs and just turning on all the faucets, kind of filling up pitchers and just various items full of as much water as you can. While she is doing that, what is everyone else up to?
Since we got politely asked to not be in the room, I would probably talk to Rory about the whole hallway gun bag incident.
Yeah, I think cinematically you're walking, Rory and Derek are walking to go check the windows, and both of you just kind of stop at the door that leads to the stairway to the next level and just kind of look at the door. And at that point, Lou is coming up as well.
Okay, I mean, you guys went out and went through all that to go get that bag. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Steve's like gone. I feel like we should go get the bag.
All right.
I mean, I'll go with you.
No. I got it.
No, I'm going with you.
Okay, well, I'm going in there because it's my fault that I lost the bag. So,
I'm pretty sure that at this point, fault doesn't really matter.
Sure. Okay. Let's go grab the gun bag. Do you have a weapon on you already?
I mean, I could go get the, I think there was still like a bat or something somewhere. We can fight. We have the nail gun. I don't have anything with me right now.
I still have a pistol.
Lockpicks,
right?
but lockpicks don't count.
I think you have a pistol on you.
Okay.
Derek is standing there with a fireman's axe.
Fire axe.
And there is that one nail gun as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will hand Lou the pistol that I have. So I think it's a 9mm.
I hold it like someone who has never held a gun in real life before, ever.
Oh.
I have held arcade guns.
Boy. Okay. Well, if you just hold it up with one hand, put your finger on the trigger, but don't push just yet.
Oh yeah, no, I've done this, arcade.
Yeah.
But usually they're like red and blue and plastic.
Well, it's like the same thing. As long as you have good aim, you'll be fine. Just make sure to pull the trigger and that the safety's off.
I don't know how generous those video games are. But I mean, I didn't suck at Duck Hunt when I was a kid. So we had all the old systems hooked up. We Pops at a game room.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's like Duck Hunt. They're like ducks, but bigger. So at least it'll be easier to hit something.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Just don't aim at me, okay? If they're super
No.
close to me, I'll handle it.
Nope.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. I will take the crowbar when we get up there, and I will take that and use that as my improvised weapon for the time being. How... If I, once we get up there, if I put my ear to the door, can I hear anything?
Go ahead and make a spot listen roll.
do you? That is 1 degree of failure.
Okay. Do you have any competence points left?
I think I have 10 more left, I believe.
Because you can use those to remove 1 degree of failure.
I don't think I have enough competence points to do that at the moment, so.
I mean,
25.
if you're not certain about it, I could kind of like put my hand on your shoulder and just go, you know, I'm really good at the like listen, sneaky, listen.
Okay. Do you want to listen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check it out. That is 1 degree of success.
Okay. Okay, so listening at this door, something. It's not like a groan. It doesn't seem to be a lot of somethings, but you just hear some form of like shifting or movement on the other side of this door. Probably almost like leaning against the door in a sense.
You know, sometimes you give something a little bit of shove and you can just sense if something is directly leaning or it's directly blocked. Like, is there any give without turning the knob and like pushing a little bit? Is there any give? Or is this thing actually leaning against the door?
Very stressed.
It a little bit of both. Like there is something leaning up against the door, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna block you from shoving it open if you desired.
Okay. I'm going to turn and very quietly communicate that to the 2 people behind me.
Well, let's hope it's just one of them, because there's no other way to get to the gun bag without...
I really don't think we lead with the gun, which is now tucked into the belt of my pants, like a gangster movie. Like
I have an idea. You just gotta trust me and not freak out when I do it.
I need to correct something.
Oh.
When you dropped the bag, that was right at the end, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So it would probably be it's not like you don't have to go up the stairs and into that hallway to get this bag. You're not sure
I
exactly
still want to
where
deal
it
with
is.
the hallway.
Right. Yeah, I totally forgot that was literally a last second, like it grabbed onto you and yoinked. Yeah, so you're not sure where in the stairway, but it's probably a lot closer than I remembered. So
wait, so basically what you're saying is if we open that door, it should be like somewhere close in that vicinity.
Could be somewhere close in that vicinity.
Okay,
Yeah.
Unless the zombies or the creatures, they're not zombies, the undead things decided that they suddenly had a mind of their own and took it with them somewhere. Okay.
Don't give Carrie ideas.
No, I know. Well, the other
no,
the
I know.
other one, the other one already has like some issues. So
no.
Trust me. Don't freak out when I do it. It'll be fine.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out when you do what?
I'm going to I'm gonna grab the thing that's against the door and pull it into where you all are, and then closing the door behind me to grab the bag so that you can deal with it, and then I will just grab the bag and come back out. That way there isn't a lot of noise.
Okay. We're gonna open the door.
I'm gonna pull it in, and I'm gonna push myself in to the area that it just came from. I'm gonna close the door so that you can kill it, and I can grab the gun bag.
We don't. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, there's probably only one.
If
there's more,
I think
the plan changes. But if there is not more,
so I'm uncomfortable with 2 parts of the plan.
I'm uncomfortable with all of it. But
2 parts of a 2-part plan.
Do you have a better idea? I mean, if
No. Okay, so good idea with the reach and the pull. What I'm uncomfortable with is you inside with the door closed, and then we don't know what's happening. And also, I don't want to shoot the thing. I think we should stab the thing, because quieter. And because if you're in there and then we make noise out here, then they'll start to come down. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You
Okay.
see
Derek just kind of holds up the axe.
Yeah, Derek, can you just chop
and
its
I
head
go,
off?
and I point to the axe and I go,
Okay.
I like that. I mean, that's okay. What
Revised
if you
plan, then.
don't close the door? Unless you're on this side of it because there's more of those.
Okay. All right. But I'm still pulling this one.
Okay, so like Steve's gone, and that upsets me. So, he like helped me out of a window, and now he's like gone. And so what I don't want is for you to have gone to go get guns to help everybody, and then you're gone. Can we just don't close the door?
Fine. Okay. I won't close the door, but kill the thing when I bring it in.
Cool.
And then I'll go grab the gun bag.
So you're gonna drag, and I'm gonna help shove, and then and I'm gonna look at Derek, and I'm just be like, and you're gonna, yeah. Okay, all right, cool. And then you don't close the door.
Yeah, I don't close the door.
Cool. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Right, Derek takes like a couple steps back, just readies the axe, and is like ready to like downward swing at this thing.
Sweet. I'm going to take the crowbar out very slowly.
Okay.
And I am going to I'm going to hold it sort of like when I open the door. That way I can just put the crowbar in front of its neck and just put it in a headlock, basically.
Okay.
I'm so worried. There's probably going to be like a dozen of them in here. I feel it, but we're not going to think about it. And I'm going to try to slowly open the door.
Okay. You begin to open up this door, and slowly, as it's opening, you feel whatever this is slumped up against it, kind of like falling with it, in a sense. And as you open up this door, you see one of these frenzied fall down with the door opening. And as it falls, there's kind of like this like movement, like it's waking up in a sense, and you hear this like gurgle coming from its throat. What would you like to do?
It's on the floor right now.
Yep.
I'm just gonna like basically yuck it up and just put my arms around it, and then put the crowbar and just shove it against its neck.
All right. I'm gonna have you go ahead and actually make a grapple roll.
Ooh.
It's really important to everyone on this call that you make this roll.
I'm going
Spiritually
to-
speaking,
It is
emotionally speaking.
It is on the floor, so I'm going to give you. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna give you like advantage. So roll twice, take the better. I'm also going to give it a difficulty die for avoiding.
This next one better be good.
Everyone think 1.
Nope. No. The first one was 75. The second one was 59.
Okay.
And that is 3 degrees of failure.
So here's the deal. Because I roll as well to avoid this, but I also failed miserably. So what happens is you go to like hook this thing around, and there is this sickening ripping sound as you go to kind of like pull this creature back, and you just like completely rip into its jaw and face, and you stumble backwards. You actually stumble enough to like bump into Derek, who is staring down now at this point as you have effectively ripped this decaying creature's face off. and it slumps, no longer moving. And you hold a bloody and gory crowbar in your hand.
Not as expected, but equally effective.
Thanks.
At least it was quiet.
I think Lurz straight up starts laughing at this point.
Rory just kind of stands there in just complete shock. And she's like unable to move.
I'm just gonna look and I'm gonna go, you have red on you.
I will drop the body.
So mechanically, I rolled a 99% and then I exploded with my difficulty die. So I was like, fuck it, it's just dead.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take
And the
it.
three of you were just like, oh.
Oh, it's not that creature's day. Not at all. Not my day either. That was horrific.
It's bad for everyone. None of it's
bad.
good. It's
Bad.
not the worst, but it's
Failures
not good.
all around,
for sure,
but
for
like,
sure.
Do we hear any others in the hallway? Because I specifically was like, don't close the door. Do we hear any others in the stairway?
You hear like the echoing of what sounds like various like footsteps on the stairs themselves, but you don't hear anything like approaching or anything right now.
Can I tell up or down?
Up.
Up, okay.
I am going to. The body is dropped. The nasty, bloody, gory crowbar is still in my hands. And I'm gonna like slowly make my way over to where is the gun bag in visible sight.
Yeah, so you kind of like step over this body. You see the gun bag basically at the base of the stairs here. Still all zipped up, everything. I mean, it looks just as you left it. Just that one strap is kind of ripped from where it was kind of like yanked off of you. But yeah, you see it there.
I'm gonna grab it and
Okay.
I'm gonna look up.
You grab it, and as you look up, you see one being like fling over the stair railing and begin to fall. I'm gonna have you go ahead and roll a dodge for me.
I hate everything right now. Oh, 96. That is like 5 degrees of failure.
So as you look up, Lou and Derek have a perfect view of whatever the fuck just happened with this crowbar situation. And then Rory like steps over the body, walks in, grabs onto the gun bag, looks up, and is immediately like, this body, it doesn't slam into them, but you see this body had flung over, slams into the railing. You see it kind of like flip over, you hear something crack as it landed, flips over, and the legs do slam into you, kind of like knock you backwards. Like onto your butt, basically. You're holding onto this gun bag, and as you look up, you see that noise. You hear shrieks from the stairway, and you see bodies beginning to run down. At this point, I assume Lou and Derek are moving to drag. Kind of move forward, grab onto Rory's shoulders, and just drag back into this hallway with this. Or back into, this hallway with the bloodied body, like, right beside you. But the door can be closed. Are you blocking it with the crowbar again?
I'm, like, shakily holding the crowbar up. Just take it.
I am fully making sure this is blocked with the crowbar again.
So, Lou, just real quick for me, just roll a percentile die, like a 50-50 chance here. Just for cinematic purposes.
So if you don't know what the 50-50 is, so
Correct.
That should be good.
I really hope that it's okay that I rolled an 11.
An 11. Okay, so you grab onto this crowbar, and as you're beginning to pull it out of Rory's hands, the blood is just so slippery that you almost like can't grab onto it, and you have to just like it takes way more strength than it should to hold onto this crowbar and pull it over, and it takes you like a couple tries to get it into where it needs to go, and then slides over just in time where you hear you hear these bodies reach the bottom of these stairs, and you kind of just hear them like groaning and looking around. They're not like beating on the door or anything because there wasn't that much noise they're, if you had to guess, probably investigating the sound of the body that fell. So they seem to kind of be around that area. But Rory now sits in a bloody hallway next to a corpse with a bag of guns in their arms.
Like cradle holding it, just
Okay. Awesome.
Great. I'm gonna go throw up
But
now.
Yeah, Derek says, what the fuck just happened?
I don't know.
well, okay, so we should deal with that.
Did it seem like I made enough noise that's why it flinged itself down?
You don't think so. You were pretty quiet walking in there.
This creature just commits suicide? I don't understand.
I
don't know why I'm trying to understand them. I don't know.
Would I, from the outside, have any additional perspective having watched this happen? No.
No, kind of the same. It was very quiet.
Well, I mean, that doesn't exactly instill confidence. But
When its feet, its legs knocked me off, did they? This is gonna be so gross. Did they feel the same way? Like the same? Like did the body itself feel like it was super decomposed in the same way that the one that I just easily killed felt?
I'm so upset by the level of thought in decomposition.
I'm very interested.
I'm gonna say there's not really like a. It was so quick, kind of hard to tell, but it was very ragdoll-y. So the weight kind of like it would be very difficult to tell.
Nasty. This is so gross.
Could we get a sense of how many were coming down?
I will say you and Derek probably got a pretty good view, pulling Rory back through. You maybe saw three, maybe four of them, kind of like beginning to scramble downward.
It's better than a dozen.
Not the worst. Okay. First, I'm gonna have an "I told you so" moment and go, "Are you glad that the door wasn't closed?"
I don't need you to tell me that, but thank you. Yes, I am so glad. Thank you for your insight and your brilliant last minute decision. That was dumb.
I bow.
Blue's really surrounding themselves with a lot of energy this session.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily entirely cultivating it themselves, but it's around a lot of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Blue's interesting. So I don't know about y'all, but I kind of think at some point we should maybe not have those in the stairwell alive anymore, or not alive, or unalive, but not. They shouldn't
just
be
don't
in the
want
stairwell.
them moving anymore.
Yeah.
At this point, Yasmin, the water stops and the power goes out.
Fuck,
I look at the tap that I was running for a moment and then just kind of turn it off by habit, close whatever bottle I was filling, I guess. And I'll go look to see where the other folk are after, checking them out.
I will say, it is daytime right now, but most of these windows are boarded up or covered in some way. So there are just those rays of light coming in various places. And once your eyes adjust, you can see in here with the power out. It's not like you're wandering around, in darkness or anything. There is natural light in here, just not a lot of it at this point. But yeah,
candles.
You have probably not looked. Like, if you found some, it was like these are not what I'm looking for right now, and then kind of scramble through, but you could probably find some candles in these apartments.
Start looking for candles and matches and etc.
Cool.
And gas stoves with like cooktops.
Okay.
Given that
question.
the lights have now gone out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I was saying good ideas.
I would. I suspect that all of us noticed lights going out,
Oh, yeah.
regardless of whether it's daytime. I think given that, I would kind of look at Rory and Derek and just be like, so maybe we clear this hallway, and
Oh yeah.
now's probably the time to, check refrigerators.
Yeah, let's go do that. Before that happens, I'm gonna open up the gun bag. I'm gonna take the double barrel shotgun and the hunting knife for myself. But I will offer it up to Lou and Derek for first dibs about what's in there. If you would like to know what's in there, let me double check that this is everything. For Lou's sake, if there's anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
There is the 9mm is what you have right now. There's a 38 revolver. There's a 44 Magnum revolver. There's an AR-15, an AK-47, and a scimitar.
I feel like, did you say a scimitar?
A scimitar at the police station?
Damn.
Or the gun shop. I feel like all of the other guns in there seem really big and scary to Lou. So Lou's gonna stick with the 9mm because I've seen it in movies the most, and it's closest to what I've held for video games. And then I would probably look at the scimitar and go, "Oh my god, I've always wanted to be a pirate."
I mean, you
And I'm gonna pick it up.
now. Yeah.
And have like little kid like, "Yay, pirate!"
So Lou has an energy, and I appreciate that deeply.
Yeah, Derek can go ahead and take the bag, look in it, stick with the fireman's axe, and kind of bring the bag around to anyone else who maybe wants to claim some guns. So he's like reverse trick-or-treating right now, going door to door to all of you. What would you like to claim, if anything? And the rest of the guns can probably stay in the bag and be put somewhere at your discretion.
Scimitar, 9mm.
Right.
This is all, can you remind me, this is all happening roughly as the lights are going off, basically? Or
The
like,
light.
what's
So yeah,
cinematic
if we want to handle that first, the lights and everything shut down, kind of as Lou and Rory are kind of going through the gun bag, just having gotten back.
I think as soon as the lights go off from somewhere in the depths of the apartment complex, some to all of you hear a frustrated Darren, like not full yell, but like loud utterance. And just that would be it for a minute or two. But then probably after a couple of minutes would then try to find everyone. Again, not sure what the timeline is, but
Yeah, I would not claim any of the guns or anything. I don't need one. After writing and finishing up the schematic, I would attempt to go find everyone as well. Very slowly and limping. Just because I don't want to open a wound or anything again.
I feel like Yasmin is staying relatively close to Alec, knowing what she knows. She'll claim a 38. The 38. Just in case shit happens. And seeing you kind of go to get up, she'll go and like put herself underneath your shoulder and help you kind of move in that direction.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, so eventually you all converge in this hallway.
Well, I managed to get an amount of water, at least, before we went dark.
That was sooner than I expected it to go out.
This is a pretty big city. I'm sure we're probably not the only people that were thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
Something that could be useful is grab all the pots you can think of, go up to the roof and just set them around, so that way whenever it rains, they'll get full. And it is a new day as well, so we should probably also update the I didn't really specify this, but I made an SOS sign using some chalk and some writing utensils that I found. It's important to change the date every day, so that way if somebody is flying overhead or there is the military that's trying to find rescues or people that need saving, they'll know, oh, that date was updated. They should probably still be there because somebody's updating it. So just something to think about. I'm not going to go up there. Definitely don't have the energy for that. But I also wrote out some stuff. I didn't notice you guys went to go get the bag. Would have helped, but it's fine. How bad is it up there?
Well, you're muted.
4 or 5 in the stairwell. Ish.
Yeah. The other thing, one of them flung themselves off the railing. I don't think because it heard me. I think it just did it.
Unclear.
In case anyone's really keeping notes about the nature of these things, it was strange.
Probably not very environmentally sound. I mean, when we were getting Yasmin in here, there was a point where they just started to clamor together at stairs and just slam into each other. So they're probably not very astute with their surroundings.
I guess.
Or maybe one just was like upset at the world. It was like, I'm gonna do this. It's hard to gauge, but they're like impulsive things.
I don't know why I was suddenly more depressed by the thought of one of these things jumping off a building, like, than even a regular person. Like something that, like, oh, if you're like one of these, you could still be super depressed about life, and that just bums me out.
Well, it could also be that there was still a part of the person who was that still in there.
True.
That just did that.
Did they survive the fall?
I think it did. It just kept falling, right, Carrie?
No, it fell, bumped into you, and was still at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. But I don't know if it was like alive or not.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea.
Oh, clear the stairwell and go check. I mean, we should probably also like empty refrigerators and get food,
that's probably
you know.
a good idea. We should probably grab as much food as we can. Although we should probably have a refrigerator that just stays closed. At least it can last a couple more days.
Legit, I just, just like check for foods and check for things, and also throw out things that will rot and eventually smell very bad.
Where are we putting the stuff that we throw out?
The window. Is there a trash chute? No.
It's not that kind of
the
apartment.
window. The window.
We can throw them off the roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already chucked some out the window.
I can go up to the roof and I'll grab some pots and go up there and put some stuff down and change the date on it.
We still have to make sure this stairwell is clear so you can get up there.
There's no other way to get up there?
I don't think the elevator goes to the roof.
Damn. Okay.
So we probably mission 1 is clear the hallway.
Would make sense.
Okay.
Archimedes.
Yeah, there's no power anyway, so the elevator wouldn't work.
Oh, yeah,
fuck.
good point. Excellent point.
God damn it. Well, I'm glad none of us took the elevator.
Electricity.
You know,
Just
again,
waiting,
I'm
yeah.
happy that you let us think about it and was just
Yeah.
totally thinking about it, and then you're just like,
I love
Yeah,
that
doesn't
occurred
work
to me
anyway.
like
By the way.
100 times before this moment. I was like, yeah, but the power. And then the power is now out. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it goes to the roof.
You're not wrong.
we still
Elevator
have,
does not go to the roof.
thinking about the things that we kind of have to deal with, there still is the other room as well that has some things in it, has some of these things in it. We still need to kind of deal with
Should we
that.
just go open that?
Perhaps that is the first thing we do before opening the can of worms. That is the stairway.
I suppose making sure that we have a way to run if need be.
Yeah. We should open that.
What if we lay a table down in front of the bottom of the door, so that if you open the door, anything trying to get out will have to climb over. But we can still see, and we have guns now, can shoot into the room.
It's a good idea, actually.
Do we necessarily want to make a lot of sound though?
With the table, we can be quiet
Well,
about it.
not the table. I'm saying the gun portion.
I think that's why we open the door here first and deal with that. And then
Yeah.
then we do the table stairway deal. Or do we want to do the table thing also in this room?
Table thing in this room might be useful too. Anything to get any kind of vantage point on them.
Yeah.
We know that every other room on this floor is clear. We just know there's shit in that room and in the stairwell. The stairwell is currently jammed closed. So I think probably just deal with that room, kill anything that we need to kill. Ugh. And then deal with the stairwell. Because at least, theoretically, it would be much more difficult for something to bust in there if we're making noise in here than it will be if we're busting there. You know what I mean? I don't know if any of that made sense.
No, I think that makes sense because trying to push through something with it jammed is more difficult than just breaking down a door.
Yeah.
A wooden door at that.
Yeah.
How's Darren looking? I assume he's joined the group at this point.
Yeah, so Darren's just hovering as you guys are talking through this. But Darren is not as, I'll put it this way. Darren is not as despondent as you would think he would be. He's there, he's kind of listening. He's letting you guys just talk through stuff, but he is paying attention, and he's like, he is both physically and mentally present.
So, what it seems to me is we are going to do the room first. We put the table down at the bottom, we open the door, take care of anything that is inside. I am not a good shot. I learned how to use one of these, but I was not exactly on the front lines. So, I can open doors, I can stand back, but not my specialty. How do we want to, who are we assigning to do the actual shooting, I suppose? Or, I gesture at Derek, the X, or what have you.
Yeah, I think my best bet's just going to be using the tire iron that you brought in I'm not a shot, and
Do
I'll
we-
probably stay in the back anyways.
Do we know how many that there were in the room? We don't have an idea at all.
So there was one woman on the table in the room, her partner, and you sent Mason into the room. But that is the extent of what is known.
Okay.
So at bare minimum 3.
If we don't want to create a lot of noise just yet, we have an axe. Someone can take the nail gun, and someone can take, well, I'll take the hunting knife that I have, and we can try and attack these things right out the door, right when we open it. And then if any get past that, at least they've been deterred a little by the table, and then someone can shoot.
It's like a last precaution sort of deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that'd probably be pretty good. Anybody want the nail gun? Darren?
Yeah, Darren kind of like steps forward as you're doing that. As you know, even like just before. Never mind. He steps up as you say that and kind of turn with the nail gun to him, and just nods as yeah, whatever you guys need me to do.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just hold the tire iron nearby, I suppose, the door. We'll pull up a table, slide it on in. Is it the door that you have to pull open, or is it a push?
A push.
From our okay.
Yeah.
So we can position the table before we even touch the door.
Correct.
Yasmin will stand beside it, her hand on the doorknob, waiting for a okay go from the rest of the folk.
I'm imagining Darren having a nail gun is being, I imagine that's not exactly a weapon that has a particularly like long operation range, so to speak. So I'm imagining Darren's actually like kind of close to the door, and has a moment of eye contact with Yasmin, and has a lot like some sheepishness as he kind of like there's that like just fleeting moment of connection, and then looks back kind of at the door to be ready.
All right. And she holds up fingers one and then turns the knob and gently pushes it open with enough force that it'll open, but not like slamming it open.
Yeah. It kind of opens up all the way, and you're able to see into this apartment. It's bright because this window's not necessarily, boarded up or blocked off. And there's just this moment where your eyes have to adjust a little bit. You can see in clearly. You see the table that Elizabeth had been strapped to is empty. There's no one on the table. And you can see one figure standing, appears to be like close to the window, just kind of standing there facing away from the door, kind of swaying a little bit. That's all you can see from this doorway.
Do we have something we can throw at it?
I am going to put a foot over the table. So that way I'm like almost like trying to push myself in. And I'm going to knock my elbow very gently against the door to make a very small thudding noise.
Okay. Yeah, you all hear this thunk. And at that noise, you see the figure kind of like shift a little bit. And you hear this gurgle and groan as they're kind of beginning to turn to kind of, look in the direction of the sound. And at that sound, too, you see the second figure come, like stumble from maybe the bathroom or just another door that you're not sure what it leads to, but kind of stumbles out, kind of looking around too, but without with it being just one quick noise, you just see them kind of like sitting and gurgling and groaning and looking around. This is Elizabeth and Alexander.
Can I wave my knife sort of in the eyesight, I'm just sort of wave it in the eyesight of one of them when they're looking? Are they even looking over here?
You begin to kind of wave it, and at the movement, you do see the one that's closer, Alexander, kind of looks up a little bit and kind of moves in that direction of the movement. Doesn't seem to catch its attention as much, but it is able to see it. Kind of looks over, sees the movement, and then you just see the mouth kind of open up a little bit, and there's this intake of half breath, half gurgle, as is just kind of trying to breathe in, just looking over in your direction, and then you can almost see it. The longer that it's looking, it's it's realizing what's in front of it at this point. So you can kind of see it sort of narrowing it down and becoming a little more aware. Anyone who is looking into this room, go ahead and make a spot listen roll for me.
It's so fascinating.
We get to roll dice.
I know there hasn't been much of that this session. Thank God, because the dice hate you.
Yeah.
Already
39 under 45.
Nice.
Speaking of dice hating you, 75 over 29, so that's 3 degrees of failure.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see. Everyone's in front of the door. You're back against the wall.
1 degree of success for Darren.
19 under 48.
All right. All of those successes, you would be able to see, especially with Alexander standing so close to this doorway at this point, as he's turning towards you, you see what appears to be almost a perfect bite mark chunk taken. It looks to be from his chin right here, just bit into the chin and just kind of ripped off. You can see blackening veins all the way up, up the face, down the neck, kind of greenish all the way around. And we had 1 level of success for someone, right?
Yeah, I had 1, and I think
we have
someone else had 2, I think. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna say Lou, you're able to actually see, you look past Alexander and you look to Elizabeth, who is now fully facing you over at the other side of this room here, and you can see, I'm looking for a word here and I can't find it, a progressed level of decay, almost quicker than what would be normal. And yeah, as she turns toward you, you just see almost these just black veins covering the majority of the skin exposed near the chest and the arm, and they are both looking in your direction.
Quick question, and maybe this is something Lou would see, or we'd have to investigate later. And remind me, she was the one who there was some degree of amputation, right? Am I remembering that right? And we did do that.
Yes, that did happen.
One arm.
There was a lot going on in a lot of amputations that particular session. So just wanted to make sure I was remembering correctly. Would we notice, or something that we should check either way, is whether the amputated limb has the same signs of decay and black veins? Because obviously they've both gotten bit more. And
that was
ripped apart
legit
more,
gonna
right?
be my question is
So
does
where'd
it
come
look
from?
like that? Yeah, that was legit gonna be my question was does she look like she was bit elsewhere, or does she look like she turned regardless of the amputation?
Okay, first question. What did Yasmin do with the arm?
I don't like that
this
question.
This is a bad question.
It is like
question.
I had like idle
Evil Dead.
hands. Like
I don't need this.
I think I put it in a
Burn it.
trash bag and I put it in the fridge of that apartment away from any food that we'd already removed.
Honestly, I feel
Because
like you did say
she-
that.
Yeah, because she wants to make sure that she
you
can
for
study
sure
the
it was
results.
a trash bag.
Pretty positive it was a
Yeah,
trash
I think
bag.
I remember that now.
Yeah, like double bagged it or something like a
Refrigerator
biohazard.
So
Yes, it is.
I will say from your cursory glance into this room, from what you can see, the black veins on Elizabeth seem to be more coming from that shoulder that the arm was amputated from. You're not seeing any other bites that you can see. And as the attention is drawn and they are beginning to like slowly stumble in your direction, Lou's attention shifts to the window that has been opened, not broken, and Mason is not in here.
Son of a bitch, where did it go?
We can take a look afterwards.
OUT out.
Right. We're on the second floor. Theoretically speaking, he could survive a fall. and
Let's clear this
possibly-
room before we get too in the weeds
Yeah,
of what
okay.
Yes.
happened.
Are they still stumbling towards us?
Yeah, and I will say with the slight amount of talking too at the same time, like they snap into like a full awareness of you and are beginning to actually come into your direction. So let's have everyone roll a speed die. Okay. So Rory, roll dodge for me.
So please tell me that a 100 in this is a good thing.
Mm-mm.
It's not.
No.
Nope.
Hey guys,
worst way,
hey
actually.
guys, it is a 1% chance that we roll 100s, and we've done it like 8 times.
So many
So
times.
get it together.
Hey, you want to buy me new dice? I mean,
Change
like,
dice. Go digital. Go physical. Something. Do it.
I
different.
changed dice.
Go.
Yeah,
You're rolling online now. We're all whatever it
You're
was that we were
rolling
all doing. We're
online.
now
Rory-
doing the opposite.
What is your damage threshold?
5.
So I'm gonna have you mark 1 wound. As you watch, all of you are looking into this room, and they're so slow for a moment, shambling, and you can see Alexander kind of like reaching up and just stretching out a hand, and that kind of distracts you just long enough to where you're all caught off guard by Elizabeth sprinting. Just full force sprinting in your direction, slams right into Rory, who has 1 foot over the table, 1 foot on the other side, slams into Rory. You feel your ankle twist.
No.
Something happened to that ankle as you and this frenzied are flung out into the hallway, slammed down into the hallway there. This frenzied is completely on top of you, and at this point Alexander rushes forward. Okay, I'm gonna roll a d4 to see if this frenzied attacks Darren or Derek. This one rushes out. Derek, you see Derek fling forward with the axe, and is basically just sort of like the axe handle is up like across this frenzied's chest at this point. Derek's just trying to keep this frenzied from coming over the table like this one, while also kind of glancing down to make sure his leg isn't going to be grabbed by the one that is currently on the ground, trying to hold this thing back. You see this frenzied, while being held back, is just slashing, almost like, just windmilling at this point, like just flinging arms out, and you hear one like slash rip into the side of Derek's face, just scratches down, and he's just like, ah! And he's just holding back the best that he can, but you do see blood just beginning to gush down Derek's face. I rolled a 1 on my speed die, just so everyone is aware. So who had a 2? What would the 2 of you like to do?
Am I closer to the one that's on the ground or the one that's attacking Derek?
Probably the one that's on the ground.
then I will attempt to straddle on up and just bring the tire iron in an upward swing, so that way, in case I miss, it's not going to come down towards Rory. So, I'm just going to bring it into an upward swing to try to knock them off to the side.
Okay, I'm going to have you roll 2 damage die first.
Okay, understandable. 5.
What's your damage threshold?
7.
Okay, you can roll this with no penalties.
Awesome. And this is a melee bludgeoning?
Yes.
Cool. Hey, that is 24. What is my score? 53. So that's 2 degrees of success.
Great. So you'll roll 3 damage die for that. And remember, those explode.
Oh, right. What does triples do? I got 3 4s, so 12.
Unfortunately, nothing. But that's cool.
It's not like a slot machine. It's just like jackpot. Critical. Then 12.
I will say that is enough damage to successfully destroy this thing. So tell me how this looks, knowing that you are battling with multiple injuries over here, not wanting to hit Rory. How does this attack look?
Well, considering I'm a bit further down, my heart starts to pump, and I can only hear that in my ears. I just start quote unquote running. It's more like I'm dragging a leg while I'm limping forwards, and I just go as low as I can and bring it straight up to give it as much forward momentum with whatever speed I have, and just hit it with, since it's a tire iron, it's like that plus sign metal thing, so it probably catches it on just one corner of the part and just brings it up. Perfect.
Yeah, you hear the blood just kind of spatter up onto one of the walls, and Rory, this creature on top of you, is hit, and then kind of the force of the hit makes it roll off of you as well, and you have a perfect view of Derek trying to hold back one of the other ones. Yasmin, what would you like to do?
So I'm standing a bit back. I have the revolver in my hand, but I'm pointing to the ground still, knowing I'm an okay shot. What I'm going to do is, first I'm going to look behind them. Is there anything else in that room that I can see?
Yeah, looking into that room, you just see the open window, the curtains are kind of blowing to draw attention to the fact that window is open. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you're not seeing anything or anyone else.
Is there anything nearby me in the hallway that's big enough to chuck that would make a noise if it landed?
Yeah, I would say there's still probably even various items kind of in this hallway from the tables that were flung over. Yeah, I'd say you could easily find maybe an empty bottle or something.
Okay, yeah, I think we've made enough noise that an empty bottle isn't going to make a huge deal. So I'm going to pick up an empty bottle and I'm going to chuck it past Derek into the room to hopefully lure out anything else that's in there, just in case.
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
you chuck this bottle, it whizzes past Derek's head and the frenzy that's in front of him, smashes down into the floor on the other side. Nothing.
We'll stand back.
Okay. Anybody have a 3?
Yes, I did. Being pushed back by this creature on the floor, and then Alec basically pushes it, basically hits it with enough force that it's off me now. Is it still alive?
No. You look over and the face is just you can see brains just leaking out from it at this point. Yeah, it's gone.
I'm going to shakily try and get up, knowing that my ankle, honestly, adrenaline is just sort of pumping through me, so I don't really notice it. And I'm just going to take my hunting knife and I'm just going to get up behind the one that is attacking Derek. And I'm just going to try and shove the hunting knife into the neck of this thing.
Nice, make that roll.
Yeah. Is that going to just be, it's melee attack, right?
Melee piercing or slashing or something?
piercing. Oh yeah, I see that piercing.
They're probably the same score, anyways.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Ah, fuck life. Okay. That's an 80, so that fails like 4 times over. It's 4 degrees of failure.
Yeah, so you're like moving forward to try to stab into this thing, and you watch its sense of alertness, I suppose, kind of like shift to you instead of Derek. As Derek's trying to hold this back, it kind of like looks over towards you as you are bringing this knife in, and you can see it doesn't try to like dodge the attack or anything. It just positions itself enough to where you like stab into its shoulder, and it just doesn't seem to care about that. You kind of just rip the knife back out. The knife is now covered in blood, but to no effect there.
I think Darren, who has the nail gun, is going to shakily point it at the one that's on. Is Derek, right? Yeah. And is very clearly feeling very afraid of this, of what he is about to do. But tries to line up a shot as they're struggling, as now there's more people in the melee, but seeing that there is a need, tries to line up a shot. 94 over 42.
Was that real dice or digital?
It's digital dice.
Are you switching? Are you switching to physical?
Yes, I am.
All right, so it's sort of that same situation. You come up pretty close to it, raise up this nail gun, and as you go to pull the trigger, this creature stops like thrashing and scratching and just reaches up, and you can see the nail basically like stab into the hand and into the wrist, like kind of like holding the hand now like this as the nail just slams into it, and it just to keep it from hitting its face, basically, at that point.
You know, Mason really made this look a lot easier than it apparently is. That dude was like 360 no scoping.
I was rolling like 2% and 4%,
and
that's where all the luck went.
Turns out, no. Nail guns are not actually built to be ranged lethal devices.
Nope.
Good to know. Cool.
All right, Lou, what would you like to do?
Dead Rising has lied to me for so many years.
Oh no, I have to do something now. The one on Derek is now in the hallway, which is where the majority of us are.
No, the one on Derek is still on the other side of that table. Like that table is keeping him from walking out. Derek, the table is sandwiched between the frenzied and Derek.
Okay. I mean, I've got scimitar. Probably just gonna just try to
roll for
kebab its head.
Great.
Noted melee combatant Lou.
Yeah, really. I'd be better off throwing the scimitar at the thing. So my stat is better. That's only 1 degree of failure.
Do you want this to look any certain way? I'll say nothing. You don't like hit Derek or anything. It was only 1 degree of failure, but like, how are you just too afraid of maybe hitting Alec or Rory too, that you just kind of hesitate for a moment, or how does that
look? This is a
perfect. Okay. Everyone roll another speed die.
Physical dice rolling.
Is that a 6? Yeah. Oh my God, guys.
Alec, you got a 1?
Fucking cursed.
Did.
Okay.
Fucking cursed.
So tell me what you would like to do, because I also rolled another 1.
I would like to... Am I able to swing at it in my position, or is...
You are really bunched up in this doorway. I will say you can, but if you fail to severely, you may hit a teammate.
Would I be able to somehow push them, but not push Derek?
You could try.
I'm just gonna take the swing. I have better odds swinging than I do pushing.
All right.
Damage. Die
roll.
first.
Yeah, roll 3 damage die first.
3 or 2?
2. Sorry. Yeah, 2.
Okay. Wanted to make sure. It's 3. I definitely got injured. I got a 13.
Oh.
I have one of the die exploded.
So that's 1. That's one more. Mark, one more wound slot. As you go to swing, you feel your shoulder rip. Whatever has healed on that wound completely rips back open with this swing. Go ahead and roll that attack. I am going to have you add 2 damage or 2 difficulty die to that attack.
Difficulty die explode as well, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's. I'm gonna succeed, but the damage die kind of screwed me there. But they both exploded, so that's 12 plus. That's 19 on top of my 10, so 29 under my 53.
Okay. Go ahead and roll some damage for that.
Okay, that is. Let me double check again.
I think it's 1.
I got 2 degrees of success.
Okay.
So I'll just add those to damage.
Sounds great.
17.
Okay. So you swing at this thing. You watch as, Derek is trying to hold this back, looks over, ducks for that swing. You slam into it. As it's moving backwards, you see it kind of reach forward and grab onto Derek's clothing. You watch Derek tumble into this room. The two of them basically land down on top of each other. There's a little bit of a roll. And you're not... So I rolled a 1 as well. So this is my turn, or
simultaneous.
Frenzied turn and Derek's turn all simultaneously. So you watch this slight tumble and struggle as they're almost rolling further into this apartment. And then there's a moment where you see them both stand up and you're realizing Derek is holding on to this frenzied as they're standing up. And then Derek immediately pushes and sprints. And you watch as both of the bodies push through the open window and disappear.
I think immediate impression is to rush over there. Shoulder's already screwed. I'm just gonna go. Is he clutching onto the window by chance?
What is everyone else's immediate reaction as well?
Immediately also running to the window.
Cool.
I get pushed past, but also go that way.
Okay, yeah. It's kind of scrambling into this room, whoever would like to. Rushing over to that window, you see, basically looking down, you can see the impact mark from where the frenzied itself impacted. It looks like Derek probably landed on top of this thing. You see Derek kind of roll over in a breath knocked out of him, sort of you see coughing, you see he's covered in blood. You're not sure what's his and what's not his, but he's coughing, and you see his head snap as he looks over at a few of the frenzied that have noticed him. They immediately look over, and you see him get up, look up at you, and then just take off. You see the frenzied beginning to follow.
Where is he? Is he running just away?
He's just running away, yeah.
There's nothing we can do. We have to just hope that he's okay and that he makes his way back. That's probably what happened to Mason, too. We don't see Mason down there, do we?
You do not. Now that you're over here at this window, though, you do see there seems to be like a blanket or like a throw blanket or a sheet or something that seems to have been a way out of this room for Mason, you would assume.
He definitely didn't make that in haste, though.
No, it doesn't seem to be tied to anything. It seems to be just one blanket, like basically kind of like, stuck onto whatever form of the handle of the actual window itself. It's like a hope this works sort of.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's nothing, no blankets tied to other blankets or anything, just a handhold to kind of get a little bit lower down before dropping.
Gotcha. Okay, so this definitely was him just escaping, probably. At this point, I'm probably just going to take a step back and take a breath and lean on a couch if there's one in here. Yeah, I'm just in shock.
Did Rory stand up? Or are you still like
I
the ground?
Stood up, walked on it, ran over with it.
Okay.
At this point, the adrenaline is leaving my body, and I just literally just like collapse, like butt on the ground, and like just like leg like sort of like splayed out in front of me.
Okay. I'm gonna point at Darren and Lou, who still look mostly intact, and say, tables, block the windows. We have to block the windows. And I'm gonna look at you, Rory, and show me where it hurts.
I'm gonna show the ankle. Is it broken?
Yeah, so you're taking a look at this ankle. It's not broken. It's not like an immediate like, oh, my foot's facing the wrong direction or anything like that. But it is already kind of swelling and it's a little bit bruised looking. It's definitely some sort of twisted, gotta keep off of it sort of situation.
Okay, well that could have been worse.
And I will turn to Alec.
I'm all right. My shoulder's a bit more open than I would like, but ow. Sorry, Yasmin. I'm sorry. Sorry.
She just shakes her head and goes to work fixing it, as y'all do.
Yeah,
do or do not what I instruct.
Just use some blankets. That's fine. We don't need to do bandages because it's bound that I'm going to open it again anyways. Okay. Some just makeshift remedies, I think, is fine.
I will go over and close windows, but pointedly not look out or down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darren's helping. Darren's like, and if we decide we're barricading. And Darren still has a weird vibe, but is with you and helping. If we decide, we're barricading these windows or anything like that too, we'll, use probably what relatively few nails we have left at this point, to at least do some to keep it up or something like that. But
yeah, I would say you would have a few more boards as well, just from your previous searches, to be able to board up that window.
Yeah,
and,
or at least like drag stuff in front of it, whatever it is.
I would like to pull myself up and sort of like make my way over to the fridge to find something cold to put on my ankle.
Okay. Yeah, you open up the fridge and you see there are plenty of cases of beer. You see plenty of energy drinks in here as well. You see beer, you see energy drinks.
How many arms?
What?
How many arms do we see?
Arm.
I don't want to interrupt. This sounds like
I think you put that in the freezer, correct?
It's one of those it's one of those GM DM things that
How many
you're
arms
like.
do we see in there? Kind of just on that same note, like on the counter beside here, you see a few different like bags. Looks like maybe grocery bags or something. It looks like there's like a birthday card in there and you see a pack of like playing cards. You see a pack of solo cups, and birthday candles.
Oh.
So someone was supposed to have a party and then didn't have a party.
I'm gonna grab 2 beers. I'm gonna open one for myself and put the other against my leg as I'm sort of hobbling over to the bags. And I'm gonna start looking through the bags and pull out the birthday candles and go, well, it's not a celebration, but I did find some candles when the lights go, well, the lights are out, but when it gets dark. There's also a birthday card in here, and some solo cups. So, that's really upsetting. So
Probably find like a pack of ping pong balls as well.
As I am fixing up Alex's shoulder and Rory's describing everything in the bag, you see Yasmin just kind of shake her head and chuckle, kind of darkly, sarcastically. I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's funny how the universe works sometimes.
What's that mean? As
What
I'm
does that
pouring
mean?
a beer into a solo cup right now?
She looks outside at the sun, where it's probably like mid-morning at this point. About maybe 7 hours from now, I was supposed to be at my birthday dinner.
Oh.
My niece was flying in, but I guess that's cancelled.
Well,
Darren. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Darren goes over to hearing that, Darren goes over to the fridge, and there's, I assume, the same pause that we all as players just gave that. We're all just like processing how to react to that. But then I think Darren walks over and also grabs more beers, like for everyone else who hasn't had one yet, including himself, and passes one to you, and kind of just like holds up a beer in like a pseudo cheers kind of feeling.
She will not open it. She will do the cheers gesture, but leave it aside. I don't drink, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I think this counts as the first birthday of the apocalypse.
Probably. At least for those that are, still conscious for their birthday.
Hopefully not the last. Probably.
I would definitely take a beer.
I pop the one that you gave me and hand it over to Alex.
I think you just get both beers then. I think that's what that means.
Is there no like cake or anything in here?
Do you look around?
Yeah, I'll look around.
Kind of looking in like the cupboards and stuff. You're not really finding anything really.
Okay.
If you do happen to open the freezer, there is an ice cream cake in there. And a trash bag.
Quick, before it melts.
I open it and I just go, oh my god, what why is there an arm in here?
Having been in the room when the arm was removed and then trash bag, I go, don't ask. It's fine. What's behind it?
What's behind it?
Dairy
I
Queens?
move the now frozen arm over and I grab the cake and I just set it down and I'm like, that is so unsanitary.
It was clean. They're
The
both
arm?
bagged.
It was in
Outside
a trash
of the
bag,
bag.
and
You
that
are
is covered.
You are covered with face right now.
You can't just say that. I think we're all going
That
senile
was more
and
Nathan,
crazy.
but
You
I
are
think
covered
Darren probably
with
says
face
it.
right now.
I'm gonna go with what
That's
he
a
said.
quote. That is a quote that I want to put on a shirt. You are
You're
covered in face.
face right now. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Do you have baby wipes? I'd love to get it off of me.
I'm sure I pull something out of my bag and toss it.
Darren from his back pocket pulls out baby wipes,
I believe it.
which has never been addressed. Nothing. Just pulls it out.
I'm just like,
Does not
I don't know,
answer
wipe it on the
questions as
drapes.
to whether they've been there the whole time, whether he found them. Nope. Just pulls them out and hands you some baby wipes.
All right, so you get cleaned up. You have beer at your disposal. You see there are quite a few like cases of beer in this refrigerator. There was definitely a party being planned. You can find a little bit harder alcohol on top of the fridge if you so desire. And you have acquired an ice cream cake that it just says happy birthday. Like, it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have an age, and you see like the candles themselves, it's just a pack of like those multicolored birthday candles.
I will put all the candles, as many as I possibly can, that isn't like a fire hazard, into the ice cream cake, and I will light them all with my little lighter. And I will sort of like push the cake closer over to Yasmin, clear my throat, and I'll look at everyone and I'll be like, we're singing happy birthday, right? But like quietly.
Yeah, so Darren just looks around at everyone in like, you see that glimmer of manager that he is, you know, in the real world. And he's just like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Come on, let's pick it up. A little more energy. Happy birthday, dear Yasmin. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. And they're like air clapping, you know?
And
like very quietly.
many more.
Wipes a tear. Still, like, her hand is at her neck. Alec would know what she's holding, and she blows out the candles, and we are plunged into darkness. Or into darkness.
Yeah.
Yep.
I loved, and I blow out the candles as we are plunged into darkness.